What's going on, guys? I am back with a very, very special conversation that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking a little bit about Fortnite and what it might mean for Rocket League in the short term, maybe long term. Who knows how long it'll take. I'm going to assume short term. I'm going to assume by like 2019 we got this all ironed out. But extended Fortnite crossplay beta launches on PS4 today. What that means is Sony is finally getting rid of their stigma of no crossplay. They're not worried. Well, they are worried about their security, but for the most part, they're beta testing cross-platform play with all consoles: PS4, Xbox, Switch, PC, for Fortnite purposes, mobile, Mac, whatever. It's probably on an Atari at this point. I have no idea, but they are going to go over a beta-like process of trying to move their Sony stuff privately from just like console and PC to all consoles. And basically what they're saying is that they have identified a path forward supporting cross-platform features, which is awesome, for select third-party content. That means, they're going to give Fortnite a try, and then they're going to move on and, allow other games to do it. One game that's very easy to do, well, Rocket League. So Rocket League should be coming probably after this beta process. And I keep quoting, in quotes, beta, because honestly, it's all kind of BS. Sony is basically just trying to ease into this process and try and be like, we're worried about our security and all that stuff. Like, it's not going to be a big deal. Like, this is going to happen, guys. They're not going to have a beta for this and then get rid of it. They're probably just want to make sure everything runs kind of smoothly, but it's also probably just a messaging of, hey, we still think, even though it's completely false, that there could be security issues when going cross-platform with other people. Like, guys, Sony was just putting that up. It's like Sony's putting up that front because they didn't want to go cross-platform because they've sold the most consoles and they want more people to buy their consoles. Let's be real here. I don't really see this as they're worried about their security. They just had to come up with some type of answer so they didn't have to do cross-platform. Well, now with all the pressure from Fortnite, with the next generation of consoles coming, which is coming very, very soon, Sony basically has to fold to this. They've won this console generation. They're probably looking at their sales like, we're not really going to get that many more sales because we're not allowing cross-platform. People are actually starting to get pissed off and they might not actually buy our console anymore. Plus, we have to start regrouping for the next console generation, and they don't want to lose that lead that they have, which I think 100% guaranteed. I think they would have lost next generation of consoles between them and Microsoft if they didn't allow cross-platform, because I honestly think people are getting really pissed off about it and no one wants to deal with it. It's very similar to how Xbox lost this generation by trying to go online only, no use games, all that stuff. It pissed people off, so they all went to Sony. Now Sony has better first-party exclusives and all that, so that has helped them, but I don't think that would help them going into the next generation where Xbox is trying to regroup on that front, and by just pissing off their player base throughout with Fortnite issues and other games that don't have cross-platform play. So, all this is well and good, but the last paragraph is probably the best. This represents a major policy change for Sony Interactive Entertainment, and we are now in the planning process across the organization to support this change. So it's happening, guys. It is happening. We will update the community once we have more details to share, including more specifics regarding the beta timeframe and what this means for other titles going forward. I'm calling it right now. By 2019, Rocket League will be cross-platform. I think it'll happen before the holidays, I'm hoping. But if not, early spring. I don't see it going any further than that. But basically, Sony is finally changing its frame of mind. Now, I'm going to go over to Dunham's tweet right here. So you can see, we're really happy for PlayStation and Fortnite. And obviously, right now, they honestly don't know what's going on. This was probably just a Sony and Fortnite thing. Maybe they heard of it maybe a little bit earlier through the grapevine. But for the most part, I think like Psyonix and Dunham are probably contacting Sony like, hey, we want a part of this. This is a big deal for us. We want all the populations to mix together. But for right now, there's no updates, which, makes sense. And the smartest thing Dunham says, in the meantime, we recommend reaching out to Sony for comments. Because Psyonix doesn't want to deal with this shit. At this point, they're just like, yeah, Sony, do your thing. Have all the questions at you. We're just going to wait until you allow us to do it, because it's really just like a click of a button, and they can switch over to cross-platform play. It's not that big of a deal. This actually works out really well with the Rocket ID system that's coming in play for Psyonix. That's coming out relatively soon. Hopefully, this all happens right around the same time, and then everyone can play cross-platform play. But I'm telling you now, guys, get excited. This is going to happen. But there's one thing, there's one gripe that I want to bring up is, like, these guys over here. So I posted, like, this is huge, and I quoted the Sony thing, like, similar to what Dunham did. And, you know, like, people are excited, but 3 out of my 5 replies from the early time that this tweet has been up is just like, man, I wish Rocket League would have been first. Like, guys, who the hell cares? Fortnite is gigantic, and sometimes it takes something that has changed gaming to open doors for other things. Fortnite is incredibly big. Like, 500 times bigger than Rocket League, probably. Like, guys, let it happen. Let Fortnite be the trendsetter. Let Fortnite open the door for Rocket League to get cross-platform play, and don't get annoyed by it. Like, guys, we're getting cross-platform play, most likely. Who the hell cares who's first? It doesn't matter at all. Let Fortnite do it. It'll come shortly to Rocket League. I am perfectly fine with that. There is no issues here. Guys, again, like, Rocket League doesn't have to be first in these things. It doesn't matter. Fortnite is huge. Just deal with it. Fortnite is going to make things happen, and that's perfectly fine. And I am just really excited to see how this all goes going forward. I do expect this to be before holidays, maybe early spring at the latest. We will have cross-platform play. We have the Rocket ID system coming in hot. Hopefully, maybe that's not a click of a button, but right now we have the cross-platform, like, playing against the Xbox opponents, Switch opponents if you're on PS4. That's basically just a click of a button. Like Psyonix has said that before. I don't have an image for that because I didn't think about actually putting that in there. But guys, this is gigantic for Rocket League, for all video games, really. Not just Rocket League, but just all video games in general. Who knows what this could open for, like, other games, for, like, first-person shooters, like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield. Like, that could open up cross-console play. Super, super big news, and I'm just glad that a huge game is trying to turn the tide here with Fortnite. So hats off to Fortnite. It's going to help us in the Rocket League community. It's going to help other communities as well. And it's super, super exciting. I hope you guys got a ton of that Creed advertising going on here. You probably can't see it now. I've actually blocked it perfectly with these 2 Twitters. So Creed's getting some advertising on my channel, but hats off to Fortnite. I am not going to give credit to Sony because, honestly, Sony took way too long to implement this. But hats off to Epic and Fortnite trying to push that envelope, trying to pressure Sony, and also the fan bases in general, pressuring Sony to make this happen. This is huge. Do not, like, who cares who's first as long as it happens, right? So, cross-platform play, I'm guessing again, before holidays, but at the latest spring. And this is big for the Renegade Cup, for instance. Right now, that's only Xbox, Switch, and PC, while the RLCS is PS4 and PC. Well, all of that can blend together at some point, hopefully, and then we won't have to deal with any of that. So that'll be fantastic as well. Big, big stuff. I'm very, very excited, as you can tell, and hopefully it happens soon. We'll see how this beta goes. I'm going to quote beta over and over because, I mean, like, this is just a marketing thing, in my opinion, with Sony. So that'll do it for me, guys. If you're excited, tell me why in the comments below. Do you have friends on different consoles that you've been wanting to play with forever? Maybe some bought PS4s and some bought Xboxes. You can finally play together. And if there's other games that you hope it comes to, let me know in the comments below. I assume the first 3 will probably be Fortnite, Minecraft, and Rocket League. And, like, if they can get this out before Call of Duty and Battlefield are out, that would be insane. I doubt it. But I could see them trying to push for that. Maybe not Sony, for instance, because, again, Sony wants all the sales on their console. But for those developers are probably like, hey, can we get this going? Because I think that'd be pretty neat. But that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.